Hello, comrades! Welcome back to Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. My name, of course, is Open Potato. That's right, we're back. We are, as ever, checking up on the progress that the Palace of Soviet is making. We are pretty darn close, actually. We're pretty darn close, at least, to finishing this current phase. We got 27 tons of electronic components that need to be delivered. And this is the bricklaying phase. Now, I don't know if it's one phase after the current phase that we're working on, or if it's two subsequent phases. But either way, I mean, we're definitely in the final stretch. It looks like we're, what, 3/5, 2/3 of the way done? I am, like, ridiculously happy with the progress that we've made, even though it has consumed my life for the past, like, 3 episodes, 4 episodes, 5 episodes. I don't even know. I can't even remember how long it's been. But anyway, yeah, 27 tons of electronic components. That's all we really need, and we just need to try and make sure that that happens. As it turns out, the chemical shortage is still here. It's for different reasons, though, this time, unfortunately. So in the last episode, we dramatically increased the amount of transports between both sides of the map. We now have a whole bunch of plastics, a whole bunch of chemicals arriving via boat. However, the problem is that we're just not producing enough chemicals, and the reason that we're not producing any chemicals, or anywhere near enough chemicals, is because our crop numbers are ridiculously low. Now, I did say in the last episode that that's the reason that we're getting this greenhouse. However, as it transpires, this greenhouse has not really delivered as much as I need it to deliver, frankly. There is maybe a prospect that we can get a walk route set up, and I think we have to, because we need to get workers working here in slightly larger quantities. So let me see if we can try and, like, line up a footpath. Yeah, see if we can line up a footpath, like, directly to this brand new town, which I have thus far yet not named. I might name it, actually. I might name it at some point. Where the heck is this footpath gonna go? I don't even know, actually. Ooh. This leaves a big old question mark in my mind about where the heck we should stick this thing. Thank you, as ever, by the way, to everyone who left a comment on the last video with the code word chemical shortage. That's right. We do indeed still have a chemical shortage. But as I say, it's for entirely different reasons. Okay, I think I'm actually going to destroy this gym. I think it's probably just straight up worth it, just to make sure that we have a place to connect the path. Because frankly, it's desperate times, desperate measures, etc., etc., etc. Now, will I be able to get people to walk over this stretch? I mean, they will walk it, but they will not walk to their houses, which is a big old problem, because we need to link up the houses as well, apparently. What if I do something like that? And something like that, and then something like that. And then something like this, and then a little bit of that, and then a little bit of this, and then a bada bim, bada boom. What do you know? That's looking real good. That's looking fantastic. That is both houses, both important houses linked up, and so people should now be able to walk directly to the greenhouse, which is great, because we're only going to be getting more greenhouses. That's right, you heard me. I said it here first. We're going to be getting more greenhouses, and, I hope that a lot of the people that are going to work at the greenhouses are going to come from this little town over here. Building is without a power supply. How is that possible? How is that possible? It doesn't seem to be computing in my small brain about why the heck that is possible. Building is without power supply. I mean, it says it's without a power supply, but it does have wattage. And we trace this all the way back over here. That's not where it's coming from. It must be coming from the other way then, which is all the way over here. Okay, I'm just going to quickly follow this so that I can actually see where the heck my power is coming from, because the fact that we're not producing any power is, well, I would say of deep concern to me, frankly. It really is a big old problem. And then this is linked up to here, and that's 15 megawatts. Okay, so we are 100% limited, actually. Can you believe that? That's kind of bonkers. That is kind of bonkers. So we've got a couple of choices. Honestly. The first is upgrading this cable here, this cross oceanic cable, the one that goes all the way around, all the way back to Potatograd. Well, back to Industrograd. Well, actually, back to Nucleargrad, right? Alternatively, we can... What I think we probably should do is kind of duplicate a cable like this one over here. This cable not only carries just a heck of a lot more power, but it also is in a kind of similar area. Alternatively, we could just stop exporting like literally all of this power and use this cable to provide power to this town, and in fact, you know, a good chunk of the area. To be honest, I'm not actually that committed to selling power. You know, I thought I really was. I used to think of myself as a really, 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 you know, power selling oriented individual. However, I've come to change ways. I've changed my ways, and my ways have changed. And now I've realized that selling power is, in fact, quite unprofitable, and therefore I'm honestly not overly interested in doing it. So instead of that, let's see if we can convert this cable. There we go. Now, that might bring with it a couple of problems, because that is going to be a brand new power connection, and I don't know if that's going to allow us to do what I want to do. I think what we want to do, actually, just straight up, is to demolish the connection here. So we disconnect two sides. The two sides of the high voltage wire. So now we've got one sort of like high voltage area, which is supplied by this cable. This is the, I guess, the high voltage cable south. And then we've also got the high voltage cable north over there, which supplies, you know, Oil Island, Novoya, Constructo, Mini Constructo even. The whole bunch of names. I can't even remember them. But anyway, north power transmission, south power transmission. Bada bim, bada boom, pretty darn easy. Okay, so that's good, that's lovely, that's working really, really well. We seem to have enough coal, at least for now. I'm sure that will perhaps change at some point, but that's okay for now. We've now got a consistent power supply, which is exceptional. A bus stop, I'm not actually going to worry about the bus stop, just going to straight up demolish it, frankly. I don't want to faff around with buses too much. Let's just get you sold. All these buses that I bought, I'm just gonna sell, because I don't wanna be responsible for faffing around with them. It's not a priority. Right. So as soon as I've said and dealt with this area right here, we're going to immediately place a brand new factory. That's right, and it's gonna be another huge greenhouse. Now, the time that it takes this one to build, I'm less concerned about, frankly. I'm not super bothered about the time that this one is completed in, because we barely have enough people. We barely have enough people at present to work in that second greenhouse that we plonked down. So let's just hold off on building this one. I'm not going to build it immediately, and you know, we'll just chill out. But I wanted to get this down because I think that we need probably, you know, 3, maybe even another one. Maybe we need a 4th one after this to ensure that we've got a crop surplus. Now, there is talk in the comments. There is talk in the comments of maybe placing down another farming area, you know, a couple of additional farms. I could do that. However, I feel like farms are pretty, you know, they're pretty last season, if you know what I mean. I'm almost all in on greenhouses, which is quite cool, I think, right? Greenhouses are cool. Yeah, greenhouses definitely cool. What else do we need to do in order to make sure that this greenhouse just works better? We just need more workers. We just need more workers. That's what we need. That is what we need. 100%. And the way to do that is, well, there's a couple of different ways to do it. I'm about to demonstrate for you right now. This is one of the ways that I think is going to increase the walking range. Doesn't increase the walking range to the point where we're allowed to walk people all the way over to the greenhouse, but that's fine. That's okay. That's totally fine. So we got people here, but we haven't maxed this one out. I think it was maxed out, but now it's not maxed out because I made the people here endure a period of, you know, powerlessness, which, as it transpires, convinces people to leave. So let me get a sports facility down over there. I'll get another sports facility down over here. To be honest, we're probably going to need to bump up the facilities that we have in this town anyway, because you bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to be adding a whole bunch of extra stuff to this town. Also, we've got a whole bunch of people working at the university now, which is a little bit less than ideal, to be honest. Right, sell these buses. Man. Okay, and then let's hop over to Potatograd. Yes. As soon as we go near the big behemoth, the big beast, the frame rate just tanks, doesn't it? Alright, 16 tons of electronic components. So we are getting there. That's great. Right, how many people do we have outstanding? 870 people that currently are living with their parents and therefore are unproductive members of our society. And we got to change that. We got to change that. We got to relocate them to the other side of the map. That's right. Okay, bada bim, bada boom. This house, by the way, that I'm clicking on right now, I should have mentioned was entirely empty before I started my work over here. So it would make sense. It would make sense to fill up the houses that, you know, can actually reach the secondary greenhouse. They're within walking distance, so to speak. And so if I move as many people as I possibly can into this little town, then we will increase the number of people that are willing to work at our place, at our greenhouse. So there we go. I'm going to move a couple of people from Kobe. I have no idea if Kobe has got a couple of people that are waiting to move out of their parents' house, but I'm assuming that it probably does because most places do. Right, let me have a little look. Not really. So we did kind of just tank the population in Kobe a little bit. But it was only 2 houses. It was only 2 houses. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about at all. Right, so with that, the number... Yeah, look at that. The number of workers that are working at the greenhouse mid 2 has increased tremendously, almost to exactly where we need it to be, which is really, really good. In fact, that might even be more workers than we have at the first original greenhouse. It totally is. It totally is. So that's really, really good. 22 crops, 22 tons of crops. That is very, very nice indeed. Missing a power supply. That's a big old yikes. Why the heck is that a problem? That should not be happening. Links up to here. Links up to... Links up to here. Does this have a power supply? This doesn't have a power supply. This entire area is without a power supply. What? Did we stop producing power at the nuclear reactor? I know it was only the single nuclear reactor. What? No workers? How did this happen? This is very, very bad. This is kind of why I didn't want this nuclear reactor to be involved with non-industrial power production. So why the heck has that happened? Have we got workers coming in here? We got workers coming in here. So that's nice, but I mean, that doesn't really explain why the heck we have no workers here. Is it just because there's one train and it's too infrequent? But we also have trams. We also have trams coming in every now and again. I mean, okay, so that is a huge flaw. That is a huge flaw in the system. That is a big, big, big flaw. In fact, is it worth me even getting a secondary train here to ensure our nuclear grad setup is workable? That's not good. That's not good. That's not good at all, actually. That's not good at all. Also, we're getting towards December of 1991, which is, of course, a historic time. And I'll be bringing it to your attention when it happens. 14 tons of electronic components remaining. That's fine. Pretty much nothing. Okay. I guess I just have to live with this situation. It's really not ideal at all. If there's another significant power outage, then I'm going to do something about it, but until then, I'm just going to assume that it was a freak occurrence, and therefore we're going to have 100% power production from now on. Okay, let's build the greenhouse Oh, actually, before I do, let me just straight up make sure that we have the space for a small aggregate storage out here. We totally do. I knew we did. I just wanted to absolutely make certain. And let's stick that down there. Excellent. And we will connect up a appropriately rustic gravel road in order to connect it up. Building is in the way. Really? That still counts as building being in the way? Alright, well, there we go. Say levy. Let's do it. And let's do that. Let's do that. And let's freaking go. Okay, and just like that, we're able to add a brand new greenhouse to our list. I just need to make sure that this is connected over here. There we go. Excellent. And that is going to be a brand new place for people to work, which is wonderful. And now, I'm going to see if we can try and get one final greenhouse in this vicinity. Let's demolish this little bit of road. Let's rework this bit of road, which I know I just built. I know I just built it, but look. I always do this. I always do this stuff. Okay, do that right in there. Build that, and then let's just terrain modify this area over here. We'll just use the in-house excavation crew, if indeed they can reach that far. Doesn't look like they can reach that far, to be honest. However, that might just be enough space. So one final greenhouse. It's not enough space, is it? It's not going to be enough space. No, it's not gonna be enough space. Okay, fine. Well, we're gonna have to do some ruble terraforming. Not like it's particularly expensive. What is that? A couple of 100,000? Yeah, 200 and something thousand. I can easily afford it. Easy. Pocket change, mate. Pocket change. Right, so that goes in there like so. Excellent, and that gets auto-built as well. Before, however, I complete the construction, I should just make sure it's entirely connectable. Looks like it to me. Excellent. And the last bit that I need, small aggregate storage. Perfect. And then this gets linked up over here. Yeah, easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We should have no issues with that whatsoever. It does cost, you know, the better part of 3 million rubles, but I mean, for crops, you can't really complain. It's kind of essential, right? Kind of essential. Have we got any coal coming in? I need coal. I do need coal. I need coal more than I've ever needed before. Where's my coal? We got a good amount of coal coming in, but not anywhere near enough, unfortunately. Let's dispatch that boat immediately. Dispatch that boat immediately. By the way, we should be able to see the exact moment that the next phase of construction starts. 14 tons. Yeah, because every single truck in the entire area will be mobilized. And we should see all of these vehicles start to operate. Right, so the train network is a little bit janky at the moment. However, I think it was mostly rectified by me breaking that bit of track in the last episode. I think it was mostly to do with a refueling demand, and the way that fueled trains work is very janky and not entirely good at all. In fact, it's bad. It's straight up bad, which is why electric trains are often the preferred vehicle locomotive of choice. However, I've stuck with fuel for a while, and no real desire to change that at any point, so we're going to stick with them for the remainder of this playthrough. However, I mean, if I was to do it again, maybe using electric trains. Why do I keep saying electronic trains? Would make more sense. But hey-ho. Hey-ho, it seems fine. It seems that we've got a bit of a congestion issue still. I mean, we did, like, triple. We didn't triple, but we did increase the number of trains that we had working at each aggregate loading. Working at the coal aggregate loading, working at the iron aggregate loading. And gravel, I think, actually, as well. So we increased the number of trains that are on this route, so it's kind of to be expected that we will have, some sort of a tailback here. And indeed, that has been the case. Also, we've only got 3 tunnels. We probably need to get more tunnels, if indeed... Yeah, we've probably got 3... Yeah, we've got 3 trains in this tunnel. Well, 3 trains in each of those tunnels. 1 train in each of those tunnels. 1 train in each of those 3 tunnels, and it's not enough. So, I think maybe we get another tunnel. It sounds kind of silly to say, but it's kind of needed, to be honest. Kind of needed. But let's maybe not do that for a little while, because otherwise I might just, you know, become known as the tunnel guy, and that's not really... It's not really a reputation that I want to maintain. Still missing chemicals. We're still missing flippin' chemicals. 58 tons of plastic. What do we got down here? Oh, we got a bit of plastic. Nothing much. You've got nothing. Yeah, the problem is that there's no real, like, safety valve in order to get the extra plastics out of our system. Not to mention the fact that it is actually cheaper and more cost effective to import plastics as opposed to just producing them yourself. You have to believe it to see it, but it is actually true. Yeah, okay, so just chemicals, just literally chemicals. So that's why I want to just, you know, accelerate my chemical production as much as is feasibly possible. Right, so the 2 greenhouses are now up and running, which is great. First of all, they need a power supply, which is fine. That can be organized. We can definitely organize that. I mean... There is an area... Oh, yes, there is a point spare here now. Yeah, you know what? I think we'll capitalize on this free slot that we freed up from high voltage wiring, and we will stick down a power transformer. Let me stick it down over here, and let me just do 15 megawatts. It's not super important. Yeah, that's a fine size, and then we'll ping right back across the way over here. Yeah, the route of the cabling is frankly unimportant to me. The area is a mess. I know it's a mess. It's not going to change, is it? Come on. No, it's not going to change. Right, so all the way down here. Excellent. And right in the center here. Just like so. And right around there. Excellent. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. So that is half of the mission completed. Oh, look at that. 153 and 191 workers. Excellent. Right, so now we need to find the chemical train. This is the chemical train. The chemical distribution office. This is the chemical distribution office right here. Add you. Add you. Make sure that both of these are equipped to unload. Unload if below 90. Excellent. And then we can also select the other distribution office, which is the grain pickup distribution office. Chemgrad grain storage. Boom, boom. Load, load. There we go. Storage percent is above 0. Load crops, load crops. Excellent. And the last thing that we need to get set up is the coal distribution. Man, I love distribution offices. Tell me that these are not the best things in the update. They totally are. They totally are. Don't even pretend that they're not. Nuclear is all fun and well, but you know, you're not having a great time unless you can supply bread loaves to all of your shops without micromanaging 1,000 trucks. That's what they say, right? Okay, so we're just waiting for coal. We're just waiting for coal. In fact, is there even coal? Is there coal on this side of the... Look at this. Look at this greatness that we've built. There is actually coal on this side of the map. It is kind of miles away up here at the top of the island, which makes me think that maybe just maybe it's not worth exploring. However, if there was a source somewhat nearer the bottom of the map, which Indeed, it looks like there is. Let me have a little look at this. I don't really have much faith in the idea of putting down a coal processing plant and a coal mine over here. However, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world, given that we do need enough coal. That is right here. I mean, it's a pretty poor quality source. It's a pretty poor quality source, but I'm gonna try this actually. This is not gonna be a very expansive coal setup, but you know, roll with me on this one, folks, because I think it's actually pretty important. It's actually pretty important that we do get large enough quantities of coal set up. I'm gonna put this out here. Here's the plan. Here's the plan. Everything can be supplied by a single bus stop right in the center. However, if it turns out that we need more coal processing capability, then we can just stack up some additional coal processing plants over here and then remove this and stick in a conveyor splitter or whatever the heck it's called. What is the conveyor engine transfer? You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Right, so let's get it sorted then, shall we? We'll get a bus stop over yonder. Yep. Okay. There we go. There we go. And now, where do we want to supply our people from? Where the heck do we want to supply our people from? Kobe is a very, very far distance. But then again, what choice do we have? What choice do we have? We don't really have one at all. Right, we're gonna give it a shot. It might be too far, but it's worth a crack, right? It's worth a crack. I tell you what, we could get this to be tram or trolley buses, but I don't really think that that's what we're after. I think we're just after a simple, reasonably simple setup here. There we go. Excellent. Wonderful. And yeah, that's it. That's actually it. We don't need... It's not it. We don't need that much. We don't need that much stuff in order to make this area work. There we go. Excellent. So we just set up the route and we see if it supplies workers. I'm just going to use the train platform as a pickup point. That's kind of the plan at the moment. Might need to work that one a little bit, but it's fine. Gonna go with 8 buses. I know 8 buses is nowhere near enough, but we'll give it a shot nonetheless. All right, get in and out. In fact, it doesn't need to be set for workers because it's only workers that operate in this area anyway. Operate from that platform anyway. Let's copy all of the different orders over to the different buses, and bada bim, bada boom, we're ready to rock and roll. All right. Let's see if this does indeed work. If it doesn't, we might be able to see if we can chain together some workers in order to get them to go where we need them to go. Also, I feel like I should replenish some of the workers in Kobe. What? I didn't even realize there was a fire here. Again, wow. This was close. It was almost the 3rd time unlucky for the iron mine. I mean, this is okay. This is okay. This is, I mean, it's a setback. Don't get me wrong, but it's fine, I think, for the most part. Oh, it's just infuriating. It's just infuriating. I dearly wish I didn't have to deal with this, to be honest. I really don't want to deal with this nonsense. So it was in this vicinity. Oh. That looks good. How did that not connect up? We might even be able to just connect it up manually. Yeah, there we go. Easy peasy. We don't even need to faff around with an intermediary conveyor. That's fine. Totally fine. Everything works. We cannot store or export coal ore, is what the coal mine is telling me. However, I don't think that that's my fault. I think that's the fault of, yeah, the fact that we've got no coal ore capacity further down. And we have no workers here. Why do we have no workers here? because we just don't have any workers here. Right, well, I'm going to increase the number of buses that we have operating in this area by a few, to be honest. The more the merrier is what I've heard. Let's get 2 more IKRs. There we go. Dispatch them both. And dispatch another 2 as well on top of that. So that should just mean that we got a couple additional workers to take the strain off the coal ore storage and get it refined into lovely processed coal, which is great. Yeah, there are too many trains. There are too many trains on this network. Ideally, I'd love to make longer trains, but I'm not allowed to make longer trains. We're already at the max train length here. You know, we're pretty much there in terms of train length. So we can't do anything more about that. We fixed the belt, which is great. We still got these ridiculous bridges in place, but that's totally fine. Let's head on back to the other side of the map. It doesn't look, by the way, it doesn't look like there's been any subsequent power shortages. It looks, for the most part, like it's been okay. Are we getting any deliveries of coal? Probably not, given that buildings without a power supply. Well, that's a problem. That's a... that was a power issue that I just saw a video game. I just sneakily caught you having a little power supply there. Yeah, that's right. You thought I wouldn't notice. I did. Okay, if we put that in there, then that's going to mean that we can supply this area. Yep, so that's now all entirely supplied. Buildings in the way. Wait for the demolition crew to clean up. There we go. Easy peasy. Great. So now we should be able to get coal over here, but we still need the coal to arrive. That's the sort of main thing that we're waiting on. And because I insist on using all the very best locally sourced materials, we have to wait for our own coal to arrive, which is kind of hilarious, but kind of love it, to be honest. Right, we should immediately see all of these dumper trucks mobilizing and heading out and about to pick up the coal and deliver it to where it needs to go. How are we doing crop-wise? I mean, we're not doing terribly crop-wise, to be honest. We're not doing terribly at all. We're not doing awfully. We could be doing better. We could definitely be doing better, but that is what it is. Can I take down... I'm going to take down the number of people that we have producing plastic yet again. In fact, I'm going to take it down to 5. Because, frankly, we do not need that much plastic, and it's just consuming all of our chemicals. And it's becoming a real problem. A real problem. But no matter, we'll get it fixed. Have no fear. Right, you are going to get sold. That bus that we introduced in the last episode. And we're still missing coal, but that's all that we're missing. Right, how's everyone doing here? No kindergarten spaces. No kindergarten spaces is a problem. A church. Church isn't important. Not super important anyway for people's happiness. I think just maybe getting another kindergarten would be real good. Okay, let me just... Why am I doing average? That's the silliest thing that I've done thus far. Bar none. We'll just leave the ruble land leveling on a little bit because, I mean... Very, very wealthy, as you can see, which is great. And then we'll plonk down another kindergarten. Literally that simple. There we go. Excellent. And connect that up. Sure. Connect that up. And connect that. I just like building paths. I'm sure that's abundantly obvious. Do we have power? It doesn't have a power supply. It doesn't have a power supply. Can you actually believe it? It's like... The bane of my existence is power supplies. Right, electric substation. There's a building on fire. That does actually require my attention. Okay. There we go. There we go. Stick this in here. Nice and easy. And we get that linked up like so. Excellent. Okay, so we now have a power supply, which dramatically increases the number of children that can be cared for at the kindergarten, which is very, very good. We haven't filled this People's Palace up yet. Is that a problem? I don't think so. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem at all. We're still doing fine At the shopping center. Oh, there's a fire extinguished. That's great. It was just a construction office fire. That's okay. That's totally fine. Totally fine. Have we got coal? We do actually have coal, and we are operating without issues, which is very good, in fact. Very good. Have we got any trucks that are coming to, by any chance, pick up grain? Yes, we do. Yes, we absolutely do. That's great. That is great. So this grain is going to go straight to the chemical plants, which is wonderful. And we're going to see you fill up with grain in just a second. There we go. What do you know? We've got grain. Oh, that's fantastic. That's really good. That's really good. And it looks like these greenhouses are honestly operating much better than the original greenhouse. I feel like maybe I should just disconnect this from the route, from the station over here, because it's sucking up 125 workers, and those workers could be better placed to work at the chemical plants, because the chemical plants really are the forefront of what's important at this moment in time. Yeah. How are we doing in terms of oil production? We're actually doing okay. So this is another problem that we've got here. We're actually supplying so many people to the oil refineries and the train station that we're just drawing down immediately on all of our oil supplies. So I'm gonna kind of change up what I was doing. I'm actually going to reassign all of these buildings as, you know, buildings where citizens should go. Now, the reason that I want to do that is to increase dramatically the number of workers that the chemical plants get. So the chemical plants are both going to try and, I think we're going to try and make them sit around 35%. That sounds okay. The greenhouse probably should be followed after that. There we go. And then, yeah, so about 30%, 25%, and then 12% between the two oil refineries. Really goes to show that there's no point in having hundreds and hundreds of workers waiting around doing nothing at the oil refinery if we don't have the oil to supply it. So we'll get that fixed, and that should allow us to bump our chemical production just that little bit further, because now we've got plenty of crops coming in. Yep, I didn't think that we'd see it over the course of this episode, but absolutely, yep, we've got a plentiful bounty of crops that we've got, and they're just chilling out in this grain storage here, which is wonderful. Right, so the next thing which I'm going to try and fix up is I'm going to try and remove... do I want to remove all the connections here? I don't think I want to remove all the connections. Because if I remove all the connections, will that have an adverse effect? I don't think it'll have an adverse effect, to be honest, because everything is linked up to everything here. Yeah. Everything is linked up to absolutely everything. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all the connections. I'm going to remove all the connections at all these places. Also, do we not have our own fuel source? Have I not linked up fuel? I apparently haven't linked up fuel to these things. Okay, that is a super important, very hyper important bit of infrastructure there. Who's coming to fire that? It's these guys over here. Fire that. Who's coming to fire it? Who's coming to defire it? I should have said. It's obvious. Obviously, I should have said that. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm just letting all of these trucks complete whatever they need to do. And then I am going to replace them with some modded trucks which carry slightly more resources. The fire's not slowing down? Excuse me? Excuse me? Okay, sell... Okay. Okay, sell this one as well. Oh, oh, we fluffed it. We fluffed it. This is a disaster. This is an actual disaster. Well, it wasn't getting put out anyway, but now it's... Oh, God. Why? The most important bit of infrastructure. Oh, it's coming down. It's coming down. Okay, that's great. I don't know how we've managed to do it, but I have absolutely no idea how that happened, frankly. I have absolutely no idea how that happened. But I would dearly love to put the fire out a heck of a lot quicker than the speed that it's currently being put out at. Also, we have a power supply shortage. Why have we... Is this the nuclear reactor again? Is this the nuclear reactor again? If this is the nuclear reactor, I'm gonna blow a fuse. It's the nuclear reactor again. Okay, well, you know what? That's an easy fix. That's an easy fix, frankly. I can no longer trust the single nuclear reactor to operate effectively. It needs to be switched over to, you know, the serious reactor, the double nuclear reactor. I didn't think this day would come where we're effectively retiring the original nuclear reactor, but I mean, retired in pretty much every regard, really. We'll probably see production jump a little bit here, if it hasn't already. But yeah, that's definitely for the best, I think. Right, anyway, let's return to the matter at hand. The impending fire and the rate at which it's being extinguished. It's tragic, actually. Genuinely tragic. So much grain is being wasted here if we lose it. Also, it's still being wasted because it's still in the back of trucks, but I guess it's not technically being wasted. Either way, it's being extinguished. The fire trucks that I had in the Kobe fire station have all been upgraded, save for the one that is currently fighting the fire at the grain storage. In the future, you know, we're going to respond with a much more effective firefighting team. Anyway, whilst that is ongoing, it gives us a fix for this here. So what I'm gonna do real quick. Yeah, no, not you. Not you. No. Oil/fuel storage. Hold up. Let me have a little look. So yeah, I guess you're fine. We're gonna get additional. There we go. We're gonna get some of these trucks to carry fuel to the forklift garages over here, which is kind of nice. And then I'm gonna try and sell these trucks, mostly because, as I've already highlighted, I want to see if I can try and get the brand new trucks, the brand new modded trucks, if indeed they're still available to us. I think they should be. I think they're still available to us. And they just carry, like, what, 50% more? They do carry a lot. The IFAM25. Yeah, they carry 0.63 tons of chemicals as opposed to 0.53 tons of chemicals. So maybe not an entirely huge difference, but definitely, you know, definitely enough of a difference that I'm going to do it. Also, the crop difference as well. What's the crop difference? I guess we'll find out in just a second when I buy them here. Either way, there's no specific jobs for specific forklift garages here. They all just do what needs to be done, and so we'll just reassign all of the jobs as soon as we're done with that. Right, what's the difference in crop carrying capacity? 1.7 tons to 1.4 tons. So that's a pretty big difference, I would say. Makes it worth it. And what with the fact that they're all going to be getting lovely, fine, locally produced fuel, actually produced just across the railway. I mean, how could you turn down this wonderful opportunity to be a forklift truck in Chemgrad? Oh, it would be so great. It would be so great, right? It's like those two forklift trucks in Cars. You know, Luigi and the other one. You know, the two that change tires real quick. That's right. That's my only forklift knowledge. That's where I've gathered all of my forklift knowledge from. Literally that movie. And not even that movie, just two characters in it specifically. Well, one character in it specifically, right? One of them's like a drill bot, and the other one's like a car. Look, there's only one forklift. I know that for sure. I'm rambling now, but that's fine. Right, good. Auto search connections, auto search connections, auto search connections, auto search connections, and there we go. We have done it. We still need to put the fire out. And at double time speed, we are still only putting the fire out at a snail's pace. But that's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Right, fuel, bitumen, oil, all of that stuff is happening. It's happening at a fair rate. It's fine. We've got 3,100 tons of fuel just chilling out in the big old tank over there. Where's our big Pride tanker? I'm assuming that it was probably off selling some resources somewhere and has now come back or something. Yeah, absolutely no idea where it's got to. It's huge. How could you miss it? How could you miss it? It's at the borders? Oh, it's disappeared. It's just disappeared at the borders. So that's been unloading. It's probably been unloading for the vast majority of the episode. In fact, I dare say that if I go to my finances, that you'll see a fairly consistent, like, fuel output, export for the last couple of months. So fuel is, last month was 770,000 rubles. This month, 1,000,000 rubles. Yeah, I mean, look, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. Not as much as I was anticipating. That's not a full load, if that's the case. Oh, thank goodness. I think we've finished the... Oh, thank goodness. We finished outputting... We've not finished outputting the fire. I keep on thinking about things in terms of outputs. No, we finished putting out the fire. There we go. Anyway, crop production and transport has now been resumed. 350 workers at each of these chemical plants. That means what? About 3.6 something tons of chemicals a day, which is not bad at all. The plastics factory, has that even been allocated? It's not even been allocated a slot here. The plastics factory deserves like 1% of the workers. So there we go. We will keep plastics just sort of ticking over, but I really feel like maybe even that's too many plastics that are being constructed. Because it takes such a long time to actually make chemicals. That's the problem, right? It takes such a long time to make chemicals. What are we loading up to you? We are loading chemicals up here, and that's not something that I want to do. Huh. Right, I did not realize that that was the case. I didn't realize that we were transporting these still by road. Right. That explains where 4.8 tons of chemicals just occasionally disappear to. I guess that makes sense. That's fine. But look, now we're 100% committed to transporting them via distribution office to the harbor, and then from the harbor to the other harbor, and then from the other harbor by distribution office right over to here, and then from here they can be distributed as and where they're needed to be distributed. Cool. Do we have any chemicals waiting over at Shipsky? We've got 9 point something tons of chemicals. And we've got 12 tons of chemicals waiting here, but we just can't get rid of these flipping plastics. That's the problem. That is the problem. I mean, what do you do? I want to get rid of these mechanical components and these plastics so badly. But Right. Okay. Hold up. Do I have the capability to do this? I do have the capability to do this. Right. So this is Shipsky Warehouse 2. Shipsky Warehouse 2 is where we need to go. We need to unload 100% of everything. Yes. Wait until unloaded. Load at Nuclear Grad Warehouse. Wait until loaded. Okay. Let's restart our exporting. Let's restart our exporting specifically because Nuclear Grad Medium Distribution Office. Yes. From load, you take mechanical components and plastics. If the storage percent is above 80. 70. 70. And then unload at Nuclear Grad. Load from load. It's the same. Okay. Hold up. From load, take plastics. Just take plastics. If the storage percent is above 80. There we go. Okay, that's fine. I think that should... Yeah, where is this? It's completely unoccupied at the moment. Okay, so that could throw a massive spanner in our works. You're going to load up with plastics. You're going to load up with plastics too. Okay, so that's good. That's good. If we're taking plastics away, we can get them sold. We'll need to get one ship allocated to selling stuff. I tell you what, it could be this janky dude. This janky dude who thus far doesn't understand how to go back to Kobe. Yeah, so let's get you equipped to do just that. So go here, wait until loaded, and then just go to the borders really and unload everything. Yeah, sure. All right, it's pretty easy setup really, to be honest. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. See if that works. This is the nuclear grad warehouse. Yeah, so I'm gonna stick you. You're already on wait until loaded. That's fine. You've got a good number of resources ready to go into that train. That's cool. And so that's just going to net us a little bit more money, but more importantly than that, it also draws down on this horrific oversupply of plastics that we have. At the same time, however, it's pretty important that we don't just completely trash all of our plastics, because we do actually need some of them. Okay. It looks like the half a ton or whatever of electronic components were actually delivered, and we are now in the penultimate stage. This is another laying bricks phase. Looks like it's been happening for a little bit of time, but not too long, to be honest, as we've only, you know, stuck down these components thus far. 274 tons of electronic components. That's the key thing here. But everything else should be imminently doable. 1,100 or 1,400 tons of steel. How possible is that? I do actually think it's possible. I do actually think that it's entirely possible. We haven't actually had yet a steel issue. It looks like all of the trucks are mostly... In fact, yeah, they're all getting exactly what they need. I tell you what, bricks. Bricks have never been an issue. We have got a 100% filled, well, a 94% filled cold storage filled with bricks over here. And we're not even close, to be honest. Same with prefab panels. Like, we're fine. Prefab panels, bricks, we are totally fine for. Wood production did concern me at some point, which is exactly why I started the reverse polarity effect and moved all of the wood back to here. But I think we're actually now in a position where we're mostly okay. We're mostly okay with wood, to be honest. I think we're probably fine with boards. Yeah, we're probably fine. I'll take that. The traffic problems are non-existent, frankly. There's nothing to really concern ourselves with. Look at how good this looks. Look at how good this looks. It just looks fantastic. It looks absolutely fantastic. I honestly cannot believe that I built all of this myself. 100% brick production has been made by me. 100% of the bricks have been manufactured by me, and the prefab panels and the steel, all of it really, and it just works. It just works, and that's the main thing. But throughout all of this, electronic components have, as ever, proved to be the issue, which is a bit of a bummer. You're loading the components. Great. Okay, cool. So we've still got a couple of plastics that need to be delivered to the main storage area over there, but that will happen in just a second. We've got 10 tons of chemicals, 106 tons of plastics, so we still have chemicals and plastics waiting on the Volga belt over here, which is fine. And we've got 33 tons of chemicals coming in here, which is pretty darn great. I'm gonna say wait until unloaded on Shipski, because I mean we need to wait until you're unloaded. Now that we've got an effective way of cleansing the plastics, we should have no issues whatsoever. I'm gonna send the coal back to the other side. Why did you not... Wait, you... What? I will never understand ships in this video game. Never, ever, ever understand them. I don't get it. I don't get it, frankly. 28 tons of chemicals. Oh, this is golden. This is golden stuff. Right, I'm going to say wait until unloaded on absolutely every one of these ships. However, I feel like the wait until unloaded, ticking that box, has caused problems before. But hey-ho. Right, folks, we are in December. December of 1991. That's right. That is right. Wow. Holy cow. We're less than... How did you not... You don't do it. You have waited until... Okay, you have waited until unloaded. You've unloaded absolutely everything. That's fine with me. Just checking. Just making sure. Just making sure, video game. Sorry, that's my bad. I was accusing you of not waiting, but no. In fact, you had actually unloaded everything. Also, we don't have any steel over here at the dry dock. Ugh. That's a bit of a problem. Yes, we did change the orders of a couple of those trains around, so yeah, well, you know what? It's for the palace. Don't question the glorious leader. Right, so a very small load here, just 60 tons of whatever, you know, 28 tons of chemicals, 35 tons of plastics. Hopefully it should be entirely doable to fill this warehouse up and not overflow. There we go, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, fantastic, and you can head back to Kobe. Will you have an issue with that? Don't think that you'll have any difficulties with that. I don't think so, anyway. And yet, here we are, and you're not going back to Kobe. There you go. You're going back to Kobe now. Excellent. 42 tons of chemicals. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's good. That's exactly what I want to see happening from now on, by the way. 42 tons of chemicals, 0 tons of plastics. I will take that any day of the week. 52 tons of chemicals. That is so good. That is so good. It looks like all of the changes that we made did actually have a fair impact. Like, look at that. Look at that. Like, we've got loads and loads of workers. We've got a really decent number of workers in both of these places. We've got a plentiful supply of crops coming in. We've got the greenhouses that are working pretty much at full tilt, to be honest. And making a lot of crops, so much so maybe we can even think about exporting our crops to Grainski. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a thing that we can do. Maybe I'm speaking a little bit out of turn. Maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. However, I'm an optimist, as you know. Okay, let's head on back. So what do we got? Yeah, we got a full load here. A full warehouse. Oh. I'd like it if you could move back to Shipsky, please. You do have rather a large load of chemicals there. And I do want to make sure... that we don't let those chemicals go to waste. Chemicals are really quite important. Okay, so what's the issue? The issue is still plastics. The issue is still flipping plastics. Okay, electronic components, decrease that. Increase the amount of chemicals that we store. The amount of plastics as well that we store. Let's deal with that. Discard the electronics from that stockpile as we're never going to need them. To be honest, you can also reduce mechanical components as we're also not going to need those. It's literally just chemicals and plastics, really, that we're going to be transporting into this place now. In fact, not even electronic components. We don't even need those. Yeah. And if we increase the amount of plastics that we store in that warehouse, then that means that more plastics can be, you know, moved from here. And that means that more chemicals can be moved from here, which is exactly what we want. I literally do not care about the plastics, except the fact that they are actually a little bit important in the electronics assembling process. Either way, that's looking good to me. That's looking very good to me. 52 tons of chemicals, 77 tons of plastic. Very nice indeed. Very happy potato. Very happy potato indeed. How many tons of electronic components have we actually got on site? Not many. Not many, and we still need 302 tons in order to complete the entire construction. And that's 260 tons. 260 tons in order to just get this phase done. In saying that, though, every so often there is a little splurt. There's a little splurt of, you know, 3/4 tons of chemicals, and that's pretty big. That's pretty darn big. Yeah, I mean, we've already shut down production of electronics, so plastics aren't super important in that regard, but they are still pretty important for electrical components assembly. So, you know, we gotta keep making them. We gotta keep making them. And look at that. Okay, here we are. We're drawing down on absolutely every ounce of chemical that we have here. Oh, that's very good. Very good. Very happy with that. And presumably it's going to be taken all over town as well, you know, all of the nuclear facilities. The nuclear facilities require so little chemical consumption. In fact, I can have a little look here. If I look at domestic production and consumption, so if we have, okay, consumption of resources in industry, chemicals. Oh, we missed it. 27th of December. Hooray! 25th of September, 25th of December even was when the USSR collapsed. So there we go. We're now in a post-Soviet Republic world. And you know, I was hoping to get the big old palace finished for the occasion. But as it turns out, you know, in true Soviet style, we're going to be a little bit behind schedule. When I say a little bit behind schedule, we're going to be a good couple of years behind schedule. Maybe we'll never even get completed. You know, the building might never ever be done. Okay, so let's have a little look here. You can see that last month, the consumption of resources in industry was about 40 units. So that's actually not too bad. Is there a way that we can see production of resources? Yeah, here we go. So production of resources, as you can see, was about 131 tons. So yeah, it's not much at all. Construction's not fine. Citizens facilities doesn't. Yeah, so technically we're overproducing chemicals. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right at all. That does not seem right. What is it this month? This month we've consumed 36 units. And we've produced 157 units. So there should be a big oversupply of chemicals. Part of the problem is that the time that it takes from actually building the chemicals in order to moving them all the way over to nuclear grad, it's a pretty significant time difference, to be honest, but I guess it is what it is. We're actually making the electrical components now. We've got whatever this is, 4.2 tons of chemicals there. We got 2-point-something tons of electrical components coming in. This is great. This is very, very good. I'm very, very happy with this. This is exactly what I was after. And, you know, we've got a pretty full employment at the electrical components assembly place. So that's really, really good. If we can maintain this, then I have absolute confidence in all of my workers that we will eventually get the palace done, which I must say is looking better and better and better by the day. It really is. You can hardly see because the slideshow is so slideshowy. But we're making very, very significant progress. It's the largest scaffolding that I've ever seen in my entire life. It really is just so glorious, isn't it? It really, really is the most glorious. And you know what's kind of great? What's kind of great is that there are so many resources that need to be delivered that it kind of doesn't matter that we don't have electronic components, like, ready to rock and roll. Like, it doesn't matter, because it's going to take us years. Well, maybe not years, but it's going to take us months in order to just truck the resources into the building in the first place. You know, because of the way that the game handles traffic and traffic management and whatever. You know, we're limited in terms of the amount of trucks that we can actually have moving and operating within a certain structure at any given time. And, yeah, so that's fine. We're fine. We don't need the electronic components ready to go. We're also helped by the fact that we've got so many workers that are on the site at any given time that as soon as there's, you know, an electronic component in sight, it's bam, that is immediately put to use and immediately turned into construction progress. And as I say, it doesn't really matter when we add the electronic components to that mix. There's always going to be a high number of workers, and we're always going to be able to build the structure pretty darn fast. So, I mean, I'll take that. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with this whole structure. I'm pretty happy with this whole progress thing that we seem to be doing time and again. Wow, I'm happy with that. And also, you know, the progress that we made this episode in terms of building electronic components, it may, you know, on the surface not look like too much, but dig a little deeper. I think we can all be very, very happy. All be very, very happy. Indeed, ladies and gents, thank you very, very much for watching this episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. I've been Oba the Potato, of course. Thanks as ever to all of the fantastic Oba the Potato Incorporated Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/Oba the Potato. Also thanks to Banana Nanana and C Senpai for being the two $25 plus tier patrons. The code word. The code word. The collapse has happened. The collapse has indeed happened, folks. And, you know, what is this? The 31st of December, 1991. I'm going to, you know, this is symptomatic of a brand new era. We're going to wait until the 1st of January. We're going to pause the game. And then I'm going to bid you farewell. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next episode, folks. Bye.